Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Your girl Renisha Jasvita, and today we are back with yet another video. And this is one of it's really how do I say this? Wow, I forgot English. I really love these kind of videos, and I've really wanted to do one since super long because I myself have gone through it, and I hope you all like it. So let's get into it. In today's video, we are going to be talking about something that every artist, every dreamer, every creator, basically everyone who has goals goes through, and that is a creative rut. And I myself have been through it, and I know how hard it is. There are days when the ideas just stop flowing. What you once loved doing starts feeling like a chore. You really have to do this. You just don't have fun doing it. And I've been on the other end of it. I know how tough it is, and especially if you're in the content creation game, you know how important it is to be consistent. And if you're consistent do you end up posting, and therefore you grow. It's just an endless circle. And if you don't post and you are not consistent, your numbers are going to be stagnant. And yes, a lot of people say
don't worry about the numbers,
but the numbers are what eventually give you brand deals and what you really need. So you do end up worrying about it. But however, like you see, I'm posting right now, so I have got out of it. And even though it's a long road, even though it will take time, I want to share with you all 7 tips that will help you get out of this creative rut. The first tip is to accept that it's normal.
The first thing that really helped was simply accepting that this is natural. And when I say this is natural, I don't mean oh, this happens to everyone, blah, blah, blah.
No. Really accept this. Be silent and let it sink in. Let it sink in that creative ruts, being stagnant, you feeling stuck. It's just normal. It happens to every single person on the planet. Because when you finally and genuinely internalize that creative ruts are natural, something really powerful happens within you, and that is you finally understand that it is not your fault. Something your mind feeds you during these moments. We live in a world with constant output. Everything needs to come every 5 seconds. You know how your managers are oh, we need this done by the end of the day.
What do you think, I'm AI?
No, I need time. I need space to breathe, and for that you need to understand that these moments are kind of like a tide. It just comes in waves and it keeps flowing. And just like how when we socialize with people, sometimes we do need a break from these people, this also needs break. It needs space to realign, to think. And trust me when I say the best creative ideas come when you're sitting in complete silence. And I don't mean listening to anything, watching your shows, absolutely not. Be in complete silence and you will see what I'm saying. So if you're in a rut right now, understand that you're simply between seasons. You are not a failed creator. Yes, those numbers might bother you. Let it bother you. Don't say
oh, it doesn't bother me, and then internally you're
oh, I haven't got 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I should practice what I preach, but you get my point over here. The moment you understand that this whole thing is part of the journey, it's a part of the process which will eventually lead you to the destination, things really change. The second tip is to switch the medium or try something new. Often when I'm in a creative rut or a creative block, the best way I've found to get out of it is to just do something new or do the same thing in a different way. When I couldn't film, I wrote. When I couldn't edit, I just went out and just took random videos that would eventually become the b-rolls of my new video. What I'm really trying to say is I just never put extra pressure on myself to do this thing perfectly. The point isn't to impress anyone or to make your next cinematic masterpiece. The point is to remind yourself that you're still a creator. Even if it looks different, even if it looks messy, it just doesn't matter. You are still a creator. Even if it never leaves your kitchen, your sketchbook, your notes app, or your private YouTube channel, it's fine, because creation isn't about the medium, it's about the mindset. And to be honest, this is something I really need you all to understand, that creative rut isn't always about not wanting to do something, but rather it's about the fatigue of doing something same in the same freaking way every single day. You start feeling like it's a chore. If there's something you love doing and you start feeling like it's a chore, that's when the joy gets sucked out of it and you have no longer any interest in doing it anymore. So let it play. let it just be. Like, just go out, just rearrange your room, just sing silently, or maybe just sing in the shower, just dance your heart out without recording, just do not care. Because the whole point of creativity is that it needs space to stretch and to be just let it be without any bad consequence. Basically, that's how it finds its identity. So don't box yourself into one category, because you are not a doctor, you are not just a video editor, you are a creator. And when you are a creator, you can do numerous things. You don't need to box yourself into one identity. And let's be real, if you're a creator, you know that creators thrive when you do new things, when you explore something out of the box, when you try something no one has ever done. And so just do it. Third point is to set a tiny and daily creative habit. Big things often feel overwhelming, and when you think about the bigger picture, you don't feel like really doing things. Which is why I started kind of like doing small, tiny things. Like, if I'm a writer, which I am, I kind of just like write one sentence or just one paragraph. I don't think too much about it. I don't tell myself, oh, you have to complete this, you have to proofread it, and you have to post it today, because that is quite literally the worst thing I can do to myself. The goal isn't to finish something, it is just about being productive. It's about telling yourself that you still care, that you still create. It was about staying connected to the part of me that still wants to create things. And when I say tiny, I mean really tiny. Like, don't overstress yourself, just like I said earlier. Don't be like, I have to finish this in terms of editor. Don't be like, I have to finish editing this video today itself. Because especially if it's like a 5-minute video, a long video which requires a lot of elements, a lot of graphics, a lot of motion, a lot of SFX, a lot of VFX, it is genuinely hard. And anyone who says that, oh, it has to be done in a day,
tell them, please do it yourself.
Because that's when they'll understand that it's quite literally impossible, unless they just want a piece of trash as that work. But here's the magic, small does not mean insignificant. That one sentence that you started writing eventually becomes a whole chapter. And when you show up every single day, even if you're doing something really small, you are telling to your brain that we still care, that we still create, and we are just doing it slowly, but we are not stopping anytime soon. So don't underestimate the power of micro commitments. They are like creative kindling, quiet, steady, and patient. And before you know it, that flicker will become fire again, and you will be creating in proper scent mode. The fourth tip is all about changing your environment. This is really important, and this is something my mom used to tell me as well, but I never took it like really seriously. But once I started doing, I really realized the importance of it. Sometimes when you are doing something, let it be studying or let it be doing something like a video edit or whatever, you're planning something. When you are in the same place for a really long time, you start feeling bored, you start feeling lazy, you start feeling tired, unproductive, and the list goes on. Your room, that was once your safe zone, that was once where all your creative ideas came from, it just starts becoming the pressure, like it's like the gas chamber of creative frustration, and it's like all your frustration is in that one room. So how are you supposed to get more ideas? How are you supposed to create when this is the same place that you were so frustrated with lack of ideas? So I tried, simple things. I personally tried simple things. Now here's the thing, I didn't have so much money that I could go to a cafe, act all fancy and study there. So what I did is I moved from my bedroom to my living room. And if you don't really have space, just go into your kitchen also, it doesn't matter. Or if you have a balcony, just go and stand there and sit with a chair and try to study there.
As long as the man is not staring at you and creeping you out.
Or you can just like open your main door and just let the breeze come by. Just put yourself in a different environment. Parks are free, so just go there and do your own thing there. And most importantly, this is really important.
Music is crazy.
Just shift to a new playlist. It changes the entire freaking vibe. Sometimes you might just end up jamming to the music and not doing any kind of work, and that's fine as well. Just move yourself to a different environment in any way that you can, because I promise you that this will lead to new ideas, and if not new ideas, it will help you clear your mind, and that's what we are going for. The fifth point is to first consume and then create, but consume in moderation. I personally used to feel guilty as hell, like if I wasn't producing content. Like now I post one video a week on YouTube on this channel, I still feel guilty. I still feel like I'm not doing good enough because I'm like, it's just one video. Like, why can't you edit 2 or 3 videos a week? But I also have a full-time job and I also have 2 other channels. So, let's be realistic. I'm a human. But
Toxic motivation.
it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But sometimes you need it, okay? So here's the thing. Like how I said, you don't need to feel guilty for consuming content. You need to consume content because before you pour anything out, you need to have your cup filled first. So watch movies, get ideas, write down inspirations, have a book of just proper brain dump. Don't think too much of it. Any idea that comes or strikes in your mind, write it. Keep it with you always so that even if you're out, you can still write down these ideas. It's kind of like this. Let me put this in practical terms. Writers read, musicians listen, filmmakers watch movies to understand what's something unique they could do to their own thing. It's kind of like refueling, okay? You're like letting yourself take inspiration from these movies, these books, and you're writing it down and you're trying to see how you can incorporate it into your own work in a unique way, giving your own spin to it. So I gave permission to myself to immerse. I watched documentaries, I watched movies, I listened to thousands of songs.
I write a lot.
And little by little, my creative rut just started disappearing and I started finding new and crazy ideas to do what I should be doing. The 6th point, and this is the most important point, and to be honest, one of my favorite points, and that is make your content or make whatever you're creating just for one person. Not for your audience, not for your subscribers, not for your followers, just no one, not a huge group, just for one person. And when I say one person, I mean maybe a friend who needed an encouragement, a younger version of you who didn't think things would be this way, or maybe just someone else who needs to know what they should be doing when they are in a situation like this, depending on whatever your topic is. Because creating for everyone feels a little overwhelming a lot of times, but creating for one person, that seems manageable, that seems trustable, that seems more helpful, and it kind of like allows you to breathe, allows you to relax, and allows you to create content in a way that's very conversational towards the audience, but except you're not thinking that this is for an audience, you're thinking that this is just for one person, which helps them connect with you more. For me, when I started making these kind of sit-down videos, I would say, okay, if it was a younger version of me, like since I'm doing college videos now, I'm like, if this was a younger version of me who had just joined college, what would I have wanted to hear? Like, what kind of advice would I have wanted to hear? What kind of things should I not have done? And that kind of helps me make even more videos and just gives me better ideas to put out some of the best content that I have put out. And once I started doing this, there's something surprising that happened. It actually became so much easier to create content. And these kind of videos that I just made, like the sit down videos, right, that I'm just like making it in a way that I'm explaining to someone else or explaining to a younger version of me, these are the kind of videos that help the audience, and like basically it helps the connection, it helps the audience connect with me more because they have been in similar situations or they are about to be in similar situations. So it just connects with everyone and it's not just to one particular group. Because when you are genuine, because when you speak from your heart to someone else who really needs to hear it, it's not just one person who needs to hear it. Thousands of others on YouTube who need to hear it end up hearing it too. So if the crowd feels too big, the audience seems like too overwhelming, shrink it down to one person and see how you'll start loving the process of creating content again. The 7th and the last point is brain dump without judgment. Sometimes the block or the creative rut that you are going through is not a lack of ideas. It's like a mental clutter. Like, put yourself in a situation, or imagine this. You've opened Google Chrome and you have like 15 tabs, and one has music, one has a video playing, and everyone is screaming for your attention. Except that you don't know where the music is coming from, you don't know where the video is, you don't know where your ideas are, it's all just scattered. And this is what creates the rut, because you're like, what am I supposed to do? And you know what you should be doing? You should just hit the close button, you should just restart, and you should restart slowly. So what I would do is, I would just take a notebook. I have a notebook that I carry with myself everywhere. It's kind of like a brain dump. And so what I do is I kind of just like write down any ideas, not act on themselves immediately, because like Sometimes I get ideas or writing lyrics for songs or poems, like I get them at the middle of the night or right when I'm about to sleep. So I'm not about to get up and like go do my work there because I'm not messing with my sleep schedule, especially after this eye ended up swelling because of lack of sleep. I have a notebook that I keep next to my bed and I write down these ideas. And next morning, if I have work, then when I come back from work or when I have time, I end up acting on these ideas. And when I say brain dump, I mean put everything there. That brain dump does not need to be aesthetic. A half-assed concept is fine, a half idea, it doesn't need to be complete. Just write what is going on in your brain. And the reason I'm telling you this is because some of my best ideas were hidden under this. Some of the best writing posts on my writing account came from these 3 AM thoughts, because sometimes these 3 AM thoughts have the best ideas. Like, oh my god, like sometimes when I see what I've written, I'm like,
Did I write this?
because like I would probably not write this at 9 AM in the morning, but that's just how your brain works, that's just how your body works, that's just how life works. And you've got to find a way to get along with it and to make it a part of you rather than constantly complaining. A brain dump is like cleaning the fog. It's supposed to be messy, it can't be clean, and sometimes, like I said, later you can kind of just like take this book and take one idea from this whole brain dump and make something meaningful out of this whole messy dump that you. I just wanted to give you all a bonus tip since we are super close to 1000 subscribers, and this is kind of an important one and I think a lot of people ignore. Let go of that creative persona. I feel like eventually when you do end up in the social media world, you end up consuming so much content that you feel the need to be like someone else, and sometimes this happens unintentionally. You're like, oh my god, her video is so nice, copy the entire thing. Oh my god, her thumbnails are so nice, copy the entire thing. At this point, you're not taking inspiration, you're copying someone, you're being someone you are not. You are trying to sound a certain way, you're trying to look a certain way, but here's the thing, you're not AI, you're human, and you won't be looking or sounding the same thing every single day. You need to let go of this persona, you need to let go of this whole image that you have. You need to be human, you need to be you, because that is when people are really going to connect to you and start loving you and your content. So if you're in a creative rut, I hope this reminds you that it doesn't mean things are over. This is just a pause, and you can start and you can pick yourself from where you are eventually. Drop a comment on what's something that has helped you get out of a creative rut, because I'm pretty sure it will help a lot of people as well. And before you leave this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye bye.